This batch is from Jewett City Flea Market in Connecticut. Um, it was my first time there. It's a huge indoor flea market. There's some outdoor stuff. The first time there, I found an early Green Lantern, which was also a Crisis tie-in, and I recognized the cover a bit, and I thought it was like a first appearance. It's not. But it is. Oh well, I just had to look it up because I was like, it's important for some reason. But if you're collecting like all the Crisis issues, if you have like the 12-part maxi series, it's also nice to try and throw in some of the side issues, the crossovers here and there. I mean, like trying to collect all of them can be pretty tough. So or you could just go with ones you like the Green Lantern ones. This one turned out to be when Guy Gardner gets his ring back after being a Green Lantern for a while or being a Green Lantern for one day as a fill-in, and then not having it, and them actually choosing John Stewart before him. So it was neat to find this one. Like he even way back, he still rough talks the Guardians and be like, I know all that. I've done this before. While the Guardians trying to tell him the rules of being a Green Lantern. I didn't really bargain much on this one. I think I paid maybe $5 or under for that, which isn't bad. I also got this Green Lantern, another early one. I'm a fan of Sinestro, and at first I can't always tell if it's Sinestro or Hector Hammond. They have the same shaped face and a weird little mustache thing. But then I was like, he's going required. It's got to be Sinestro. And there's actually some really cool fights between Hal and Sinestro in here. This is one of those ones where it might not be like super valuable or might not be a key issue, but it's got characters that I like, doing things that are fun, and look at all those Star Wars ads. And it's a flashback. It tells you a bit about the time it was from. You've got one of the Weaponers of Quard here. So this was a fun issue to get. Again, I didn't really haggle too much because I wasn't concerned about, it being like a major valuable issue. The condition's all right. One of the ones I did try to haggle on was this one, because they had a couple comics, nothing amazing, but this one has seen some damage. Like the corners turned up. I don't know if you can see, but there's folds in the cover, there's bends, there's wear on the spine. There's chunks missing out of it. It's the first She-Hulk though, and so there's issues that you want to get to add to your collection so that you could say you could have it. It's like if you can't get the first Hulk, but there's a chance you can get, you could find She-Hulk somewhere. And it tells a story of Jen Walters getting in her accident and having to get her blood transfusion. But it's one of those ones, it's a neat issue to have, even if it's not in the best quality. Sometimes you just gotta go for what you find, and if you find a better quality issue, you can then sell the one that you have and possibly take a loss on it. It happens. This one's another one where someone stuck like a $5 price on it just because they figured it's an older one, because people who sell books at flea markets, auctions, whatever, they say oh, it's under $1, it's only 20 cents, it's 25 cents, and they go by the value of what the cover price was sold at the time. So someone looked at this oh, it's just Avengers, we'll put a regular, whatever the old-timey price would be. It's actually a key issue. People can't tell because you don't know by looking at it, but the Avengers are swimming to look at this thing. That is the Jean Grey cocoon. After Phoenix takes over her body and flies away and does all this Dark Phoenix stuff, the Phoenix Force actually cocoons Jean Grey's body and leaves her behind so she can still live. And so this is them finding that cocoon and getting Jean Grey out. And it's also, like a retcon issue where a different writer can say, I don't want Jean Grey to be dead. We're going to make her undead, and we're going to... cocoon! Yay! Problem solved. So, the common collector won't know that, won't notice it, might not even care. But it's one of those things that I think is neat, and I will get multiple issues just so I have them. And then, before I even went in, I found this issue. The guy didn't have very many. I think he wanted like $20 for it, and I talked him way down, because like there's like a stain on it, and like the corners are turned up. There's mess on the back of it, and like this, I don't even know what's going on here. It's not good, but it is the first Beta Ray Bill, and I mean, he was good enough to take Thor's hammer away from him, and you know, he's been a fun character that Marvel has thrown around here and there. So I wanted to pick up his issue, and again, it's like I like to collect key issues, to have and to also, you know, these are things that I give to friends. If I like comics and friends like get to know more about comics, and one of my friends really likes Thor, and I go, oh, I like Thor, well, Beta Ray Bill's in Thor, and I will gift him this issue and say it's a first appearance. They might not know what the quality is or how important that is. They might think I'm giving them a really, really expensive book when it's just okay. So
deceitful bastard.
I'm not that good of a friend. And one of the neat things, Simonson signs his name like a dinosaur. Yeah. So that's neat. And I'm a fan of Machine Man. And so X-51 is Machine Man. Here he is fighting some guy. And it's one of those things, like, this issue came out in the 90s. The art's not the best. It's kind of neat. There's a lot of dialogue. But I got it because I like Machine Man. But also because here at Opinions May Vary.
It's true.
That's our statement.
It's true.
So that sums up that trip. Where am I going next? There's really neat things. Around different places there will be a comic show, like a single day show. It's not really a convention. They might try and call it a convention. It's a one day thing. It's at like a Legion Hall. It's at a KFC, a Legionnaires thing. It's like at a high school gymnasium. Different vendors will come in, set up tables just for the day. They'll charge like $1 or 99 cents entry fee, and it's just a bunch of sellers to bring their stuff. But don't call it a convention. It's a day show. And so I went to one of those and I got a stack. Again, like I was saying, I like Machine Man. This is the #1. There's not as much bargaining to go on there because they usually stick to their sticker prices, which is fine by me. Usually they'll offer a deal if you think you're going to waffle on something. So this was $12. I was okay with it. Like I said, Machine Man. But also, I realized later on, this one was written and drawn by Jack Kirby. So it's like, it's classic Kirby, not only like, you know, drawn by him, he can write too. And so it's some of his cool work in here. And it's a character that I like. Just that fact alone made it worth it for me to buy it. And if anything, when you go to like one of the day shows, you kind of have to look for them. There'll be ads like on the community corkboard at the Big Y or something like that. Find it and give it a shot. Check it out. There'll be a lot of people that are looking for like key stuff, important stuff, but there'll also be back issues for cheaper things. Some people, it's like their mini flea market. It's what they have in the basement and they bring it out to get rid of it. And that was neat. And I got a statue of this character. This is all still at this day show. I found out who Mr. Monster was, and I saw like these 4 issues from Eclipse Comics, and I figured I would like to have these, and I'll read it more about Mr. Monster. Because like and each cover is like different. They were doing different things with them. It's kind of basically written like a horror anthology almost, because there's like different stories like from Uncle Creepy, or what was the HBO show with the Tales of the Crypt? It's like a Tales of the Crypt kind of thing almost. Because like different things are happening, and like Mr. Monster isn't always a major hero in every story. Sometimes he's being told a story. It's like a vault of horror, and stuff like that. So that was neat. I'll read these later on. These will go in like in my personal collection that like I would want to amuse myself. But as I was taking them out of the bags to show, I realized with it being like an independent company, with it being Eclipse, that they don't have like other ads. They don't really sell that much ad space because they're making them themselves. So it's all like their own stuff that's on the back. They're selling more of their own product, and that's also neat to look at too. I looked at these. I think they were printed up in 87, 1987. And so it's also like another view of like, what did they do back then? What was cool at the time? And, you know, you won't always get that from the book itself. But then when I saw this one, and this really kind of got to me, considering the Machine Man that I just had. It's not even a Marvel book. Marvel was celebrating the 25th anniversary, and they have a picture of Jack Kirby, and they're asking, what about Jack? Because it's kind of like been a thing how Marvel hasn't given Jack Kirby enough credit, and like Stan Lee gets a lot of credit. And it says at the bottom, paid by by the friends of Jack Kirby. So there's Eclipse Comics throwing some shots a long time ago, back in the 80s, but still wanting to give credit where credit is due. So it's interesting to see like different publishers do, I don't want to call it backhanded things, but making statements. They want to say something with what they're making. If they can't do it with the content in the book, they'll put it somewhere. So that was interesting to find. I like that.